Well, meantime, they've been used for years to map out the structure of your brain. We're talking about MRI machines. But what if that MRI machine could actually show what you're thinking, if you're telling the truth or just a big pack of lies? Well, it turns out that it may not be actually such a far cry from reality. New research has shown that we all use some parts of the brain when we're telling the truth and another part completely when we're telling tall tales. Now, I know it sounds hard to believe. That's why I offered to be a guinea pig to find out if this stuff actually works. It may look like an ordinary MRI, but this machine is anything but. It's called a functional MRI. Dr. Joy Hirsch says you can think of it as the modern-day lie detector.
The brain works slightly differently when you're telling the truth and when you're not. And so we should be able to see that in your brain activity patterns today.
Dr. Hirsch is the head of the Fmri Research Center at Columbia University. For more than a decade, she's been working on studying the brain's activity with a functional MRI. She says it's a surefire way to identify a liar, so we set out to put her machine to the test.
What we're going to ask you to do is just lie down here.
How you doing so far, Becky?
Okay. The machine flashes pictures before me as I'm asked to tell a true story in my mind. Next, they tell me to tell a lie while the pictures start flashing once again. Computers record and store my mind's every thought. Then Dr. Hirsch and her team analyze the results. Am I a good liar?
Actually, you're not a good liar.
Oh, good. That's very good to hear.
Which means that we can see a very clear difference between your brain when you're lying and when you're telling the truth.
So what does a brain that's telling the truth look like?
And so we would expect to see your visual system.
Right.
It's loud and clear. The visual system is active. And this is Wernicke's area. This is your speech area.
So I'm actually thinking words to myself?
That's right. You're thinking words to yourself. You're talking to yourself. Your language system is loud and clear. And as we're moving up through the brain, we see just the minimum amount of activity that we would expect.
That's not the case a few minutes later.
This is the deceiving brain.
At first, the brain looks the same.
The real story starts when we get about to the middle of the brain. And we see this slice here is comparable to this slice. And remember,
there's nothing happening here.
Nothing when you're telling the truth.
But when I lie, the activity goes off the charts.
You are a normal liar, loud and clear.
Well, two companies are actually planning on taking the Fmri technology to market this year. It's startups Cephos and No Lie MRI. Now, joining us now is the founder of one of those companies, Joel Huizinga of No Lie MRI. And Mr. Huizinga, how do you plan to take this technology and actually make money on it?
We plan to start testing individuals in July. We'll be charging about $30 a minute, and we're going to have a wide range of customers.
People like who?
Anybody that wants to show that they're actually telling the truth. Our civilization is built on trust, and now we can verify whether people are lying to us.
Is it going to be companies that are coming to you, the government? What do you think?
Lots of individuals have already contacted me and want to be tested. Companies have contacted me. Governments have contacted me. And so there's a wide range of use for this.
How effective is this compared with what you see with a polygraph test?
The National Academy of Science showed that the polygraph is about 60% accurate. We have not optimized our accuracy yet, but just from the very first studies that came out in December that showed that this works in individuals and shows that we've completely automated the process, just in that smaller study, we now have about a 93% accuracy. But we plan on getting up to about 99% accurate quite soon.
How do you, in terms of just the technology itself, does it work exactly the way we just saw where you're actually put into the Fmri and asked questions?
Yes, but our process is completely automated, so there is no need for an individual to interpret the data.
Okay, Mr. Huizinga, again, thanks for joining us this morning. And again, No Lie MRI. You can look for it starting sometime this summer. I believe Philadelphia is where the opening things are going to be. Joel Huizinga joining us from No Lie MRI.
What was the lie that you told?
You tell it to yourself through the whole thing, and I told the story.
You don't even have to say it out loud.
No, you don't. Well, in the test you don't. In the ones where they're using it, you do.
I love my boss. Management does such a great job around here.
I told a story about how I chipped my tooth, but I told a different one.
Well, were you trying to be as sincere as you could?
Yeah, I was trying. I was trying to scam it.
This.
No, you use a different part of your brain, unless you think you're telling the truth.
Right. Some of them do.
I don't believe it. Coming up next.